Hello everyone, welcome to my Friday forecast. So let's get right into looking at the euro and US dollar. What I'm seeing right here, there was an opportunity to enter on a break and a retest, which was right at this point. So what I was seeing this ascending structure, I was seeing an impulse to the upside, I was seeing the double wicks and an aggressive retrace, and at that point I wanted to see a descending structure to the entry point. The entry point would be at this inside bar level, so right here. Let me draw it down so you can see it better. So right here at this candle would be the entry point. But for me this was not a good entry. I didn't like it because so at this point we got a flag opportunity, which means that we broke this low, broke the low and retraced, got a bullish candle. This would be the entry point for the flag, but it didn't fit my plan because of this V reversal, this V retrace. When I see it, I'm not looking for a flag, but I'm looking for more of a descending price action to the entry point. So I then wanted to see that this descending structure to the entry point. But what we actually got, so we got one candle like this, and at this point my order was not on because this can just shoot through, and we got a continuation of the momentum. So to me this didn't fit my plan. This wasn't a descending structure to the entry point, and I stayed out of the trade, but it then had a huge impulse to the upside, so it would be a very nice profit if someone took it and it fit their plan, because it didn't fit my plan, so I stayed out. Then at the top of this impulse, what we got, so we got a huge wick, then we broke the high, got some momentum, but not really enough momentum, and then we broke the high again, retraced. So to me this is now forming an ascending structure. Let me mark that down. So an ascending structure. What I would like to see, so today I'm not looking for any trades because it's NFP, so NFP news, which I don't trade on NFP Friday, but on Monday, for example, I would definitely look for an impulse to the downside, then a flag short, or look to see if we get a push, pull back another push, break and retest. That would be interesting. We can get descending from here, then that would signal an ascending into descending, so we would have this ascending into descending, signaling further ranging price action. I will stay out of that since I want to see a trend and I want to see momentum. Also, what can happen, we can get more of this ascending structure and then we drop to the downside. This would be very high probability since we will get more of this ascending, which makes an even better trade when we push to the downside. So definitely looking for that, and we can also impulse to the upside from here, get a flag. So we know that on the euro pairs it's very possible that we get an ascending and an impulse in the same direction, then look for a trade. Or we can get a push, pull back another push, break and retest, signaling a trend, so also a good trade. And that is it for EU. I did really like this impulse, it really showed me momentum, but we ended with an ascending, signaling to me that the up move is starting to fade and that we are more likely to reverse to the downside. So let's see what happens on Monday. As I said, today I'm not taking any trades because of NFP. Now for euro and the Japanese yen, there was no entry before this huge impulse for me personally. I was seeing this ascending structure, and this is what I'm talking about all the time. We can see an ascending and we can see an impulse in the same direction as an ascending. Then we broke the high retrace, broke the high retraced, broke the high retraced, signaling further ascending price action. So at this point, and I was not looking for any trades because this did not show me that the momentum is willing to continue to the upside. Right here we have one wick, then a retrace, which is still part of the trend, but it's a bearish candle signaling weakness, and we have a continuation which ended with a wick, so not really looking for anything at that point. Then we got a retrace and we got this one large candle, but I wanted to see more to enter a trade. This was not enough, and it's Friday NFP, so would not be taking any trade. whatever happens. So what I can forecast from this point is maybe we get this descending structure, push to the upside, look for trade, but we need to be careful. Ascending into descending usually signals more ranging price action, so this impulse really needs to give me some evidence of momentum. Also, we can get more of an ascending, something like this. Look for an impulse to downside and a flag short. We can get a push from here, look for a flag short. We can also get a push, pull back, another push, break and retest to go to downside. Also, what can happen, we can get a push to the upside, look for a flag to the long side, and get a push, pull back, another push, break and retest. So also very high probability, since we know on the euro pairs we can get an ascending and then an impulse in the same direction. So that's it for EJ. Currently seeing this large momentum, but then same as on the euro and the US dollar, we are starting to have an ascending, so a reversal is high probability. But let's now take a look at the Aussie and the US dollar. So I was in a trade right here, which took me out for, I think it's 1% or something like that. So we did start to form this descending structure, and then let me take it back. So at this point I wanted to see more of an impulse to the upside. I wanted to see some conviction, and I wanted to see this descending structure play out to the upside. But what we actually got is we got this candle with a really huge wick. So at that point I was not looking for any trades, because I know that this can just range for a really long time and not give us any opportunity to enter either to the long side or to the short side. So that is exactly what happened. We started to range a bit, and now we dropped to the downside and we got some momentum. So as I said, currently I'm not looking for any short trades. What I want to see on Monday, I want to see a flag maybe form here. I will take it short, or get a pullback, push, retest, break and retest trade, or maybe we get more of an impulse, look for a flag. We can also start to finish this with a descending structure, get a push to the upside and look for a long trade, or we can get an ascending, and if it's a clean ascending I would look for it to break the high, push to the downside, look for a short trade. So definitely also something to keep in mind. Or a possibility is also that we get a V reversal, then there is a pattern where we get a small range, push to the upside, look for a flag. And this pattern is very similar to the cup and handle pattern. So this is the level, then we get this V, and then price consolidates a bit, so we get a range before we break out, and then we break out and look for a continuation pattern, which would be very high probability because of this V reversal and the range, or a cup, and this would be the cup, this would be the handle. So same thing but a different name, and it's very high probability to continue in the direction of the second V leg. So yeah, what else can I say about this? We can get a nice large push to the upside. I would look for then a break and retest trade, or I would look for a flag, but the impulse really needs to be large, something like this to give me some conviction. Then it will be volatility in favor of the trade, because this second V leg is much bigger than the first V reversal leg. I would then look for a flag. And that is it for AU. Currently I'm seeing momentum down, and I would look for a short trade, but on Monday, not today. Now let's take a look at the Aussie and the Japanese yen. Very similar story to the Aussie and the US dollar. Let me take it back to this candle. At this point what I was seeing this descending structure. As I said, I didn't get in any of these opportunities. I was seeing a large impulse retrace, another large one candle impulse retrace, another one candle break retrace. So weakness to the downside, we were getting a descending structure. To me, I would classify this as descending, definitely. So what I wanted to see a nice impulse to the upside, and at this point I was seeing this impulse. So I was seeing how the price will move from this candle, but it actually gave us a really huge wick, which is not at this point canceling out the trades completely, but is giving me a very big warning sign and telling me to be really careful. But I'm seeing this descending, I'm seeing this push to the upside, and when I saw this huge wick, I wanted to see really a large range so that it can tap the entry point. So the bullet entry point would be this inside bar. What I was wanting to see, I was wanting to see a range, something like this, and then a descending to the entry point, and I would consider taking a long trade. But what we actually got, so we started to get the range, and we didn't get the momentum shift to the downside, which was a good sign. So a good sign for the trade was that we didn't just straight shoot to downside and get the V reversal, but we started to range, and then we got an impulse to downside, negating the trade. So I definitely stayed out of this. I saw large momentum to the downside, and I was not looking for any trades. It just didn't fit my plan. But yeah, at this point, let me move my lines. I'm seeing momentum down, I'm seeing the break and the continuation. So on Monday, I want to see a flag to the short side. I want to see a small pullback break retest to the short side also. I also want to see more of an impulse, then look for a flag. Definitely something to consider. We can just range on Monday because we know Mondays and Tuesdays are predominantly range bound. Or we can get a V, then a small range, continuation of the second leg, look for a flag or a break and retest. So really similar to the Aussie and US dollar. I'm seeing this momentum and I'm waiting to either get an opportunity to the short side or a reversal to the upside. We can get a descending from here, look for an impulse to the upside, look for a flag. Or we can get a nice large ascending, breaks the high, look for an impulse down and the flag. But we would be in this range bound area, so I would need to be a little bit more careful. Or we can get a large impulse to the upside and I would look for a flag or maybe a break and retest trade, whatever I get, but this impulse really needs to be large and break out with some conviction. So that is it for the forecast. So end of the week, had a really good week this time, so really waiting to get some opportunities on Monday and waiting to see if the NFP news will show us some moves. Yeah, that's it for the forecast, and I will see you in the next one.